Let me open it again.
And as far as the distribution, with it being random for NFT drops to nodes, like I know influencers that I won't name that have bought a couple of nodes and then ended up receiving 2 Voxes, 1 per node, which would be pretty much like impossible to happen as far as probability. Like, what's the chances of that? For the whole time I've had a node, I've had 1 town skin. That's it.
I think it's logical fallacy to assume they have no control over who gets what. I think you would obviously not say that, but if they're the ones programming the distribution randomness, then it also would imply they could program in something going a certain place.
So that one there, it's only 5 off being 7,000 anyway, if you think that's Benny's wallet.
Yeah, that's Benny's wallet. But what I'm saying is right here, it's 7,018 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
now, again, that is a slight variance to your point, Glitch. I'm not contesting that. What I'm saying is this is a statistically significant variance. This is only 1,103. And that was 10 months ago. So my point is I want to go back in time to see when he turned on all 7,000. Because if it was right before the lawsuit was about to drop, then that means he's just turning them on to show, yeah, I do have them. So I want to know when he turned them all on. Because 10 months ago, the price of Gala wasn't that great anyway. So it's not like, he was making bank then. I mean, it's still obviously a ridiculous amount of money. But
what I want to know, and maybe you guys could tell me, like the distribution's gone up in Gala now too for like, I think I get around $4.50 a day per node.
That's what I heard, $4.50.
Is there a reason that it ended up going up, or because they pretty much said that it was a glitch in the system, didn't they?
No, that was from the burn.
From the burn.
Yeah.
And the crypto that was burnt was from the other CEO that's getting sued, wasn't it?
Well, it wasn't. It was part of the ecosystem. The company had that, and that's part of the lawsuit that Thirsty had put in because he was entitled, according to him, to some of that. So that was part of the irresponsibility thing that he had brought up in the lawsuit.
Yeah, well, I ended up reading a post on Twitter in regards to Benny as well. I'm not sure if you can say it, Lycan, you're likely blocked, but it did say something about there being a $5 million deposit for a jet, and that he ended up having to take over the payments through Gala or something, so they didn't end up losing it. That's
you're talking about Benny. Benny posted this because Benny hasn't blocked me yet, unfortunately. Benny posted this where he talks about I'm all in on Gala, and then people are roasting him in his because his wallet only has 56,000 Gala. Yeah.
Well, there's another post that he made that references the jet and the reason why it was under Gala.
Well, I know he said it was all Wright Thurston's fault. Which, to be fair, I mean, I'd like a jet. That's not a good picture. Why would you post that? I know what you're talking about. I've seen it where he talks about it's the allegations directly towards the jet.
I just think, man, like if we're going to talk about it, we're going to talk about the jet and everything else. Well, then we should really be going over his Twitter like you're doing, and actually referencing things that he said to defend himself.
That's what I said in my video, is that his legal counsel, the official statement says we're not going to talk about it publicly, but this is clearly Benny talking about it publicly.
Let me do this.
Is Faz asleep?
No, his phone died about 20 minutes before you popped on, and he disappeared.
But how long does it take to plug a phone in? God, he must be scared. Cryptoview's hat got him scared. What?
I'm never scared of this.
No, baby, no.
And in regards to Tian being good, like back when McCarthy was one of the developers on the game, it was a better game than what it is now. Like 2.0.
When Elliot was in charge of Townstar, it was good. But then they moved him to Legacy. You know why they moved him to Legacy? Because he didn't want to do what they wanted him to do. You know what he told me?
Originally was the one that was running it, and it was really good then, in my opinion.
Do you know what he told me at Galaverse? That we were going to have rental in a month. That would have been January 2022. It is now September of 2023. So it's Faz Radio tonight. That's right, Sean. It's Glitch full, Cryptoview full, Titan full, and Zorro Gala full radio tonight. Hey guys, did you see that town got delisted from CoinMarketCap? That's crazy. Why would that happen? Wow.
I think it's supposed to go away on the 15th.
Wow.
You look
Imagine that, all those FTs that they sold with the idea of ROI, but not an investment. Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, so let me show you this.
It's gonna be a dick pic.
No, this was an anonymous tip to me.
Oh.
Share window, share that.
You can say what's the Zorro that sent you the thing. You can
hey,
all right, let me.
Why am I not getting anonymous tips? That's what I want to know. Why am I not getting anything?
Hang on, for cripe's sake. I'm trying to juggle 5 of you people.
Glitch,
here.
is there an echo? Is it just me that's echoing, or is it everybody echoing?
It sounds like mostly when you talk, but I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure my FX is off.
The echo here.
Yeah, maybe it's the beer.
Ooh.
This was anonymously sent, and it's a rabbit hole that I've been trying to go down. But that shows up. That shows up in because doing a lot of searching in Utah and Wyoming where they do a lot of that. I don't know for a fact because it's very difficult now to get into those documents to find out the original filing people and everything else. But it's kind of interesting that this is a Wyoming company. Right?
That's where
with the same mountain business center where a lot of these others are.
Bextol has is the owner of Mountain Business. Him and his wife own it. If you look at their website, Mountain Bextol. So you're trying to say that's Benefactor Marketing LLC?
I'm trying to say that this was provided by one of the ferrets that we have out in the wild, and said this was it, the message that came with it is, isn't this interesting? I don't know if it correlates or not, nor do I, because I poked around and I couldn't find any names anywhere. But it's just maybe coincidental. It could be completely coincidental. But it's something to look at.
So what would a Benefactor Marketing LLC represent?
A shell company.
Well, we know Wright Thurston has shell companies, so
we do. That's what I'm saying. I'm not alluding to anything because I don't know. I took this tip and I
would be cocky enough to make something called Benefactor Marketing LLC.
I don't know. I'm just tossing it out to the community. Maybe somebody finds something I couldn't dig up. But I searched for a while. I couldn't dig anything up. If anybody else can dig anything up, that would be wonderful.
Benefactor
and maybe
company. Here we go. Status inactive. Florida addresses.
That's the Florida one. There's one in Florida. There's one in Massachusetts, and there's one in Wyoming.
Gotcha.
So I followed the rabbit hole. I searched for everybody's names and everything else. I went through all of that stuff. I don't know what tools everybody else has, so that's why I'm throwing that out there.
November 22nd, 2021.
You might be able to add that to your wall, Lycan.
I might.
But there's not much out there on it, but it could lead somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, I'm not paying to search your fucking site. Get out of here.
That's what I said too. And I went to the Wyoming site and I dug, and there's nothing on the filing. It was filed anonymously.
I have spent money for Pacer so I can get access to legal documents, but that's about as far as I'm going to go.
Yeah. There's nothing else under it, but it's active and the taxes were just paid. So somebody's doing something with it. Mm-hmm. What? I don't know. Is it benefactor himself? Who knows? Is it Wright posing as benefactor? Who knows? Is it Joe Smith who wanted to start something to be a charitable organization that has nothing to do with anything? I don't know.
Right. It is an odd naming considering that they're using the same.
That's all I'm saying.
The thing that I find unusual is like if you're a CEO of a company, like it's obviously used to be a part owner or CEO of Zinger. Like if you're going to go into business with someone like this, right, that's been investigated multiple times, wouldn't you do some sort of a background check? Like
so here's why they invested with Wright. Wright had the founders node program, the code. So that's why they brought Doc in to copy it. And then as soon as they had it, they started to cut him out. And that's where, if you look at the allegations and the timelines, that's where it starts to line up, where Wright realized he was being cut out, which the documents that I bring up about Bitbender's wife, because again, I don't want this to come off as a personal attack on Bitbender's wife, because I don't know who the hell she is. And frankly, it's not even an attack on Bitbender. It's a question that could be simply asked, and I feel like there's a simple answer. Why was your wife, out of every other of the 7 billion people on the earth, listed for over a year, as the secretary and treasurer, and then half a year as the president of the company, signed off originally by our boy benefactor, and then subsequently by Jesse Hines, but we're being told that it's clerical error. Now, my question to you is, the timelines on this line up with when Doc got the nodes sorted over. So at this point, you could allege this is when benefactor's like, fuck it, we're cutting him out. He's done. We don't need him anymore. He's a baggage. He's got all these bad things he's allegedly done, all these previous companies that have been questionable. He's getting sued by the SEC allegedly. Now we don't know what, if that was legit or not, because it's still open lawsuit. Like, there's all this stuff with him. Benefactor's like, we're getting rid of this guy. And that's why after this point, you never see Thurston's name on a document again. And that's the point, is that from that point on, it is never, ever Thurston again. It is only benefactor. When they put it back, they only put benefactor as the president. Thurston is never brought back. So that's where, if you start looking at timelines and lawsuits, and he starts to feel like he's getting cut out and squeezed out of the company, you can also look back at why they originally got him, and that was because of his ability to make the founder nodes work. The end.
It's never the end, man. It's never the end.
I gotta refill my vapes.
I already did that once too. You're not sucking on that thing hard enough, Zorro. We both had to refill. You're not refilling yet.
Zorro's cool. He pops a new cartridge in. That's all. He got a fucking hookah. That's what he got.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So do you even have any nicotine in that, or are you going more the soft version?
Zorro's all about nicotine.
Only soft version, Glitch. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Okay, so without doxing yourself, Titan, how hard would it be for you to come to Miami towards the end of the year?
Not too difficult. Why?
Well, my Latino brothers that I had such a great time with in New York, we're talking about I'm going to talk about come and visit on my break and hanging out. So, we get all the cool kids together. Faz, of course, is invited, but he's going to be in his own room. I'm going to cuddle with Zorro.
Please tell me that's your vape against my leg.
Yeah. My vape is always hard. No, man, we're just since they but no one talks about that, by the way, that they sold tickets for Gallivers that didn't happen. Wow, and that's cool.
Somebody just asked about that, and it's being put off again.
Well, of course it is. They don't have the money. You know what I want to know is how you've got billions of dollars and yet you somehow waste it. Oh wait, we have Gala Music and Gala Film. By the way, I know Lance and I were getting into it in the comments earlier. I love Lance. I think he's a great guy. My point is he's invested so much monetarily into it. And I was going to bring this up earlier. The thing is, if you've invested money into it, you don't want to see it fail because then you would lose your money. And I think sometimes he's not critical enough, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a lot of times we disagree with we disagree fundamentally because I look at it from what I consider a semi-objective standpoint. And you don't have a fundamentally good Gala Games functional, and then you start doing all these other side projects. And I know I wasn't the only one that said this when they announced music and film. We're like, why do we have this right now when we don't have any games? You know, I get trying to get in early and all this stuff, but they've thrown so much money at it that, in my opinion, could have been spent better on Gala Games itself. You talked about promotional things. I'm saying the best games Gala has are not made by Gala. They've got Gala's little logo on it, but they didn't actually make the game. They have liaisons or whatever. But look at what they did with Townstar. That is an in-house game, and they've only gotten worse with it. Whoever's in charge of it doesn't even know what Townstar is, but yet they're somehow in charge, right? Well, Spider Tanks, who is that made by? Not Gala. Champions Arena, who's that made by? Not Gala. Walking Dead, who's that made by? Not Gala. Do you see what I'm saying? Just saying, there's plenty of people that work out there that could have worked. Dude Viper says I'm going to SAC. Hey, JJ. Also, hello, JJ. How are you doing? I don't know. We're going to keep circling back. I think ultimately, I just want to know that I'm not the only one that wants to see if any of this is proven true, that actions are taken. I don't want forgiveness. It's too late for forgiveness. People have lost way too much money on this. The time for forgiveness has passed. We need to see fire and brimstone.
Looks like viewer JJ has a video.
Ooh.
Where's he dropping the video? I can stream it on here.
No, I think he's saying he's going to share this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's going to share these videos.
Okay.
Okay. Golden Hawk says they never had billions. Let me ask you this. If you are promoting that you've given away billions of dollars in rewards, how did you get that number? You had to have had billions of dollars to give it away, would you not?
So a bunch of us, and I don't know if Golden Hawk, you were there at the time, bunch of us got together and we did some napkin math after a few beers. And we estimated that in sales alone, between the nodes and all the NFT sales and all the stuff that went through, we had a rough estimate of about 1.4 billion coming in. So that was just napkin math while we were drunk.
I can give you what. So the two videos I've been sharing are Wookie's video and some guy called the Degenerate Gambler, I think is what his name is. Here it is. Okay.
Obfuscatory.
All right.
God damn it.
Okay.
I just got this down and now you're fucking me up with it.
The video was from 10 months ago, The Degenerate Investor, okay? And this video goes through all of the issues with Benny's possible actions involving him buying FTs to raise the price tier, okay? But that aside, he talks about all the nodes and how much that they actually plan to make based off of how many nodes that they plan to sell. So this is the document right here. Let me get out of the way. Okay. So this was how many they had currently sold as of 10 months ago, 42,879. Now, I don't know if that includes the 14,000 or not that belong to allegedly the two founders. So we'll just assume that's in there, whatever. But they said the total amount of nodes is going to be 50,000. So that would mean there's 7,121 left. And based off of how the price keeps increasing, they were expecting to get $1.3 billion if all of the remaining nodes were sold. So that's just off of what was not sold as of that point in time. They've made over half a billion off of the current sales, allegedly, but they were expecting to get 1.3 billion. So that is a huge amount of money that they didn't get because the price went down. So,
okay, I see your point, and I also see Golden Hawk's point here, valuing it based on the Gala tokens, which they couldn't sell. So I can see his point as well on that.
I think that's a valid point. My question is, when they were at Galaverse, when they said we've given out $3+ billion in rewards, how are they factoring out that? Was that actually $3 billion, or was it not?
It was probably $3 billion based on a price of 50-cent Gala, like Golden Hawk was saying. That's a good guess.
Okay, so they're not a $1 billion company. They're a multi-million-dollar company. They're a $9 million company.
On paper, yeah, based on the token price at the time, they probably were a multi-billion-dollar company.
Right.
But the token price isn't that anymore, and with how much they've sold and everything else, it's probably way less now.
So if they're taking credit card payments, that's not in Gala, correct? They can take that money out, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a really, really bad move. I was really upset. I went off on one of our shows about that when they decided to open it up and they're pushing the ETH and the credit cards, not only because the Gala didn't go back into the ecosystem, but it reduced the utility and it gives people a reason not to be involved in crypto. I mean, if you're coming to a game platform where Gala's the utility and Gala is supposed to be there, that doesn't make sense.
That's exactly it, Roadhog. When I saw that, I said, that's how fucking desperate they are. They're taking credit card payments. Okay? So let's say this, okay? To your point about being in the ecosystem, right? I got two things. One, we begged them to give us utility for TownCoin. I laid out a fucking plan. I said you could literally allow me to burn/spin TownCoin to upgrade the abilities of my workers. Make my builder a level 2 builder so they build slightly faster. Or I could even have a skill tree where I choose them to move faster or be able to carry 2 of an item. Something like that. Allow me to burn that town in there. That gives it a utility. We begged for town utility. Now let me circle back to them using credit cards. That's not the problem. It's that, to your point, it's not them buying Gala with that credit card and then using that Gala in the ecosystem. If you look at the 2 biggest gacha games right now, Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Genshin made over $1 billion last year. Honkai's almost at $1 billion. And what do they have? They are free games that have gambling systems involved, where you buy a thing with real money, and then that thing you roll for in-game items. You roll for a better character. You roll for abilities. You roll for skins. Okay? And they've made that much money. All Gala had to do was say, okay, we have an initial filing of NFTs. These are going to be help fund the project. After that, we're going to go to a microtransaction system where you have to use Gala coin to purchase in-game items for either a boost in XP or a boost in in-game gold or a boost to buy this or that. And you could have done that and created a sync just like that. And that's my point. Whoever's in fucking charge don't know shit about gaming. Because if they knew about gaming, you could literally look at the examples that exist right now. How much money does Fortnite make? Pretty sure that's a free game. These other 2 gacha games are free games. Counter-Strike Go skins is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And that's just a skin that looks cool. It has nothing to do with anything in the game. So we're not talking about functionality. We're not talking about buying things that are your property that you own in the game. We're not talking about any of that. There are systems that exist that they could be using. They don't have to rewrite the formula. It's already there. They just have to apply it to Web3. And they don't. And that's frustrating because they could. And it would be so great if they did. But they don't. They buy personal jets.
What is it with you and the jets?
He's obsessed with it.
Because I want a fucking jet. That's why. All right. Orange claimed.
So let me ask you this, and whoever can chime in on this. Let's assume for a moment that we make it through this mess.
Which I think we will.
Okay. let's assume we all get through this and it's all rainbows and unicorns and long walks on the beach. A year from now, do you see the other gaming platforms eclipsing where Gala is based on the pace of what they're doing?
Can I chime in here? Or?
Yeah, jump in, Glitch.
So I think, like, if any of the big boys like Fortnite or any of the other ones, CSGO, or any of those guys come out with anything blockchain related, like Gala's pretty much going to be dead because they've got too much momentum. They've got the user base is huge. Like, and even today, if you're looking at Twitter at all, Champions just put up that they've got 100,000 users now, 100,000 downloads. So that's only chump change in regards to big companies and gaming.
Okay, 100,000 downloads is not active player base. That's the other problem, right? We don't know what the active player base is.
Right.
To answer your question, Titan.
No, I imagine they lying on that to Mr. No, we didn't went to the moon.
So think about this though, okay? CSGO currently, the skins market is a multi-billion-dollar industry where people are rolling to try and get new skins. So there is already a trade mechanism, and they own that skin. It's attached to their account. It's soul bound to their account, right? Until they sell it or they use it in the game, okay? So that's what we're offering in Web3 without all the hassle. You can literally go to a website, put your credit card information in, put $20 in and start rolling, get a skin, sell it, or use it in the game. It's simple. It's easy. As soon as you start making it complex, people are not going to do it, which is my biggest issue with Gala Film and Gala Music, is that no one's going to use it.
Well, I did. Okay, so one of the big things
are on Spotify. Do you think I want to spend the time just because I have some inconvenience with Spotify to move it all to Apple Music or move it to Amazon Music? No, I'm comfortable with what I've got. I've got all my playlists ready to go. There's no easy way for me to do it, and convenience is king. At the end of the day, convenience is king.
Well, convenience, so that brings up another topic. It's been said it's hard enough to get gamers over here, right? There was just, and I forget the name of it, there was a really popular game that had attracted a bunch of people. This happened like a week or two ago. And all of the people left when they found out it was blockchain. They came out and said it was blockchain. Does anybody else remember this story that came out? I'll have to dig it up. But another big thing that was mentioned in there was that it was on some other network, right? I forget the name of the network, Ronin or maybe something like that. The huge key here is whenever you have to bridge something, it's a huge hurdle for people to get over. Because even like right now, I've been getting into some of the projects on Avalanche. And I've been doing this a long time. I've done it many times, bridging over to Avalanche. I still hold my breath every single time I send USDC over that stupid bridge, because you never know what's going to come out, if anything's going to come out on the other side. And now you have Gala Chain, where people are going to, in order for them to get from fiat to Gala Coin to on-chain and playing, you're going to have to jump through these hoops and do this bridge action. And to get money out, you're going to have to bridge it out. And it's too many hoops to jump. It's supposed to be getting simpler.
Gala doesn't want to be an exchange, and they will probably never be an exchange. And that's going to be to their detriment, because that is going to allow that ease, that convenience that they don't have. So that's one of the things that's always existed, because they've refused to be an exchange. And I get it, right? It's the same reason it's not an investment, right? But that also doesn't mean that it's not going to be a problem. You know what I mean?
Oh, here it is. It was huge. It was Mr. Beast.
Oh.
And it was let me share this, because this is really important, that we can take some lessons out of this.
Dr. Disrespect was also promoting a blockchain game as well, I believe.
What happened to his project?
How do I not know how to spell disrespect? Disrespect.
All right, here we go. Let me get back to my tab so I can insert this. Top stars pulling out of Creator League after confusion over NFTs. So I got to go to my other tab. I'm not going to be able to look at the Discord or the StreamYard screen. It was September 5th, 2023. Jimmy Mr. Beast Donaldson announced Creator League and esports tournament featuring 8 top influence, but weirdly not him. It was revealed that they sold community passes that are using blockchain technology. They thought they weren't supposed to be NFTs, but the company behind it said they're not, and they say the creators involved didn't know this. As soon as that got out, everybody walked away instantly when they realized that it was a blockchain and or NFT and or crypto project.
So you know who's to blame for this? You know, there's one person to blame for this. Logan Paul. His scam. No, I'm being serious. His
I know
scam about CryptoZoo has left such a bad taste in people's mouth, and it's not just his fault. Let's be honest. There are so many crypto scams out there, right? It's all about, you got SBF, right? We got that too, okay?
Right.
But you got these huge high-profile cases that use words like blockchain and NFT, and so when people see those, guess what? I'm out. It's Shark Tank. You know what I mean? So the embedding of the blockchain technology has to be innocuous. It has to be, say it.
Obfuscatory.
Oh my God.
Right?
So my Indian guy poisoned me with duplicate. He would say duplicate. And so now every single time I have to say duplicate, I say duplicate. And now you're going to do this to me after I just learned this word.
This video has 9.1 million views. Logan Paul's CryptoZoo scam by CoffeeZilla, 9.1 million views. That's a whole lot.
But so here's the problem, and Glitch, I'm circling back to you because you brought this up about saying, hey, if Fortnite gets into the game, or if these big people get into this, people are going to flock to that. This is telling me, the article I posted and what Lycan's posting, I don't think they are. I think the instant they see crypto or blockchain or NFTs, they're going to be gone. It's even, who is Mr. Beast? 100 million people love this guy, and they abandoned him in 10 seconds. As soon as the blockchain came out. The hurdle for Gala to get gamers to come over is not Gala's fault. Yes, I just plugged Gala. It's not essentially Gala's fault. It's nobody wants to touch these things. Real gamers don't want to touch it. So now you have gamers who don't want to touch it. You have, instead of a year ago where they had 3 people that could seriously be in competition with Gala, now you have dozens. And I mean, by dozens, I'm saying 60 plus gaming companies that are big enough out there with games out there that people can go play. And here we are today coming up with these 3 big hurdles. And as I was first 10 minutes of the cast, Glitch, you missed it. So I'll recap for you. You have a choice. You're a brand new gamer. You've never heard of any of this stuff before. You come up, you're doing your research, which everybody should be doing. You have Gala and you have these 60 other blockchain gaming companies. You want to make the leap, but you're hesitant because you're not really sure about this NFT stuff like we just talked about. And you go, Gala's founders are suing each other. There's some drama I don't want to take my $10,000 to. I'm gonna be looking over here. So all of this stuff does affect everything. And when you have Mr. Beast, one of the most beloved people on the planet who gives away millions of dollars every week, has people abandon him literally 30 seconds after the word blockchain was dropped without even waiting for an explanation. If you're sitting here as a gamer saying this is going to take off in the next 12 months, I think you're delusional. And I mean no disrespect to you two on my corners here who are the big gamers on this. But that is, I think it's completely delusional.
I think the way that they're going about it's the wrong way. Like, if you look at, like, they could probably take a page out of Big Gov's book playbook. Like, if you want to get the masses to start, looking into climate change or any of these other things that they'd like you to promote, well, you need to get in there early. You need to start putting it in front of people's faces. So these big companies, if they do want to get into crypto and NFTs, they need to start putting out the information now. And then maybe in another 12 months or 2 years, everyone sort of has an idea of what NFTs and cryptos are and not just the bad idea. And then, that's how you'd onboard users, but none of them seem to do that. So
yeah, I mean, if Mr. Beast can't get people into blockchain gaming, Gala, Axie, any of these companies are going to have 10 times, if not 100 times, the difficulty of getting people into these games.
Well, you need like Epic Games, Steam, all the rest of it, like putting out their own pieces about, hey, look at this. What do you think this would be like if you could own your in-game, content?
Well, they're looking at it too. I think that's part of the reason why they don't have that, or they say they don't support that, or they're just dipping their toes into it because they don't want a mass exodus of their players from their platform. Like you just saw with Mr. Beast. They don't want that. If they announce a blockchain game, people are going to run away because they're going to say, well, if this is the way they're going, I'm not sticking around here. So that is a big concern. And you can call it FUD all day long. Personally, I think FUD is good in some respects. There should be some fear there. There should be some uncertainty there, and there should be some doubt there because it gets people to then research instead of just showing up and handing people their money with expectations that never come true.
You mean like all the stuff they've promised?
Well, we can... Listen, I've spent the last 2 years of my life talking about the empty promises. We had a Thune list live on the show. We had Bitbender live on the show going through the Thune list with us. I've been down that road about the empty promises. Everybody on the planet knows about the empty promises. However, even empty promises aside, it's way tougher than people think. So the only thing I will throw Bitbender some love on, all right, is that when he stands up there and says, you have no idea how hard this is, that's true. Because if you look at what we're looking at here, that is hard. That is hard getting people over here.
Then you don't deserve billions of people's dollars. If you're going to sit here and ask for sympathy because of how, in quote, hard it is. It's either incompetence or indifference or both. That's it. That's the only excuse they have at this point. Either they don't really care about getting stuff done or they can't do it. And if they can't do it, then they shouldn't be the ones that are trying to lead. I think that's simple. CSGO is selling skins, bro. It's just a cosmetic skin. And they're making billions of dollars.
Listen, I want to argue with Lycan, but I'm already tired. It's like 1
No.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep. I see you.
Thanks for coming on. 3 hours and 38 minutes of solid streaming.
I love you, Cryptoview. Have a good night, brother.
Good night, Cryptoview.
I'll argue with Lycan a little bit.
Let's
get rid of that daddy's home so I can see that delicious moustache that you have.
Okay, hold on. Let me get you full screen, baby.
Just to add
I'll move your head over.
Just to add something that Titan say, mass adoption of players into the blockchain gaming is not going to happen anytime soon, as long the way that people can interact with the blockchain gaming is so hard to do it, believe it or not. A lot of people don't understand. Hello?
Sorry, I said I don't doubt that. Yeah.
A lot of people and regular Web2 gamers, they still don't understand, or it's difficult for them to understand that they have to do so many steps before they actually start playing the game. And that is what make this thing horrible right now. So mass adoption is not going to happen anytime soon until someone, maybe Gala Games or another developer out there, as far blockchain gaming, actually create an easy way and easy access to play those games without the whole thing that we're doing right now.
Well, that's what I've said many times, like on my own podcast, Zorro, is like, if you set up a game and you have it all, everything's on there, a marketplace, everything in the actual game, and you don't even know that it's an NFT and it's just a normal in-game item that you can use and then resell, well, you'll get people coming over. You know what I mean? But the way it is now, like, even if you want to go on OpenSea and you want to go put down a, what would you call it, like an offer, well, then you need to transfer your ETH into WETH, and then you need to transfer it out, which costs fees. And then at the moment with the honor system for a gala, you've essentially got to buy from their store, like tank components, say, because you've got silk, and then sell that on OpenSea to be able to get your money and not affect your honor. Like, they're deliberately doing shit right now that I can't work out is any way other than to piss off the people that are using it. Like, no one's happy with these systems, but yet none of them listen. It needs to be seamless. If it's a good game, people come.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. And let me go back to the CSGO point, right? They don't need Web3, and they're making billions of dollars off of people owning skins and selling skins. That has nothing to do with gameplay. So if they're able to do that seamlessly without problem, that's a model that they could go after. I understand that blockchain technology is complex. I'm not trying to belittle that. But my point is, you got all these people to spend millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars on these promises of being able to do these things. And when that doesn't come to roost because of either incompetence or indifference, that's a problem. So if you can't do it, then we'll find someone else that can. Because it exists. All the things that would solve all of Gala's problems are currently in the world right now. We could make all of this work. Easy use, integration. It's not going to take you out of this and have to click here and go to that window and then do this and then none of that. You know, there might be an initial thing where you sign up, you get your seed phrase, all that kind of stuff. You explain to them what that means. This is your wallet lock. If you lose this, you lose access to all of these things. Take this, put it somewhere safe. Do all those things. Get them inducted into the system, and then after that, they never notice it again.
You would hope.
That's the only way it's going to be mass adopted. And to your point is, if you can get someone, I don't care if they're popular or not, get something that works and that people want to play, and they have small transactions, they can come in, spend $5, $10, $20 here and there, then you'll build the people coming to it. RuneScape is a great example. RuneScape has a billions of dollars of marketplace, and that game came out 20 years ago. But it's simple, it works, and people are playing it and need things in the game, and they spend real world money to get those things in the game. I mean, I don't know. I know we're just in the infancy, but I didn't spend any money, but I'd sure as hell be pissed off if I spent a shitload of money and I'm looking at the current state of things. And that was the whole point about bringing up these suits, is that the suits are alleging that the shareholders are being hurt by the actions of these respective people. And I think you could argue whether or not these allegations are true or not, they have been hurt by these allegations because people are seeing a negative thing. When they Google it, like your point, Titan, they're going to see the CEO suing the other co-founder, you know?
It's something they don't need. And it's gotten to a point now where you have factions within the community as well, because we talked about it at the beginning of the cast. You have 3 distinct groups now. You have the Gala all-inners, and it doesn't matter if Eric shits in a cup and shows it live on air. They're still going to love him. Okay. You have the other group, which is scared to death that something is going to go sideways and their NFTs are going to be worthless when they wake up in the morning. And then you have the others who are on the other side that are hating on Gala in big ways and threatening to kill the people on the platform. And I mean, it's like absolutely insanity with that. So you have these people who have come here to play games. And now you have these three groups who are going to be infighting the whole time. Instead of playing games, instead of jumping on a stream together to play Spider Tanks or Champions Ascension or anything else, you have these people. And I guarantee you get into a Spider Tank match with some of these people, they're going to go, oh, I saw you on Discord, motherfucking Gala, get out of here, kick. I mean, what have they created with this?
Nothing.
Titan, do you honestly believe most people in Gala Games came here to play games? Because they came here for ROI. That's why they came here.
No, well,
The majority was for ROI.
I had a huge argument on. This is by far the biggest marathon Faz Radio ever. But Faz and I used to go for like,
do it, baby.
We used to go like 2 hours, and we would just chew at each other the whole time, and people ate it up, right? They'd sit and eat popcorn and enjoy it. And I made that argument before. And, Gala decided to put tokens into these games. They decided to market that you could play to earn. They've decided that, they want to have all of these pieces in here, but then they turn around and say, well, this isn't about money. This is about gaming. Doesn't work that way. You're promoting and introducing money in a game. You get the consequence of what happens with that. And that's people coming here to earn money.
It was a marketing. It's a marketing.
It's play and earn now.
Thing
it's
that
play and earn, not play to earn anymore.
This is the way I see it. It's a marketing thing right now that is going on all around the world with all the developers that are trying to do blockchain gaming. That's what it is. All about that. Oh, we're doing this blockchain gaming, blah blah blah. And play to earn. Play to earn is a marketing thing. That's it.
So is NFT. They're not selling you non-fungible tokens. They're selling you fungible tokens.
In the real world, when all these things happen and we actually move in years from now and everything was already easy access, and like I think Bleach just mentioned it, people wouldn't even remember saying NFTs or blockchain gaming. We're just gonna go ahead and play games. That's it. And you might get some rewards.
You might. And part of the problem is I think a huge part of the problem is the mechanism in which they launched it with this pre-funding thing, right? So even, and I pointed this out to Brink as well. He was on one of his Ahead of the Games, and he had Kate Irwin on there, who's a game reporter, news person that's pretty popular. And she, live on the thing, she's like, no, I would never buy anything, especially something that costs more than $100 until like 3 months after the game was released. And so you saw Brink's eyes get really big, and he's like, shit, I shouldn't have asked that question, right? And so the point being is that
it's ridiculous, yes.
It is. We've gotten to this point where we put our faith into that speculation that $70,000 planet is going to earn something that nobody would put $70,000 in unless they expected to get at least a good chunk of that back. But now it's sitting idle and selling for $400 on OpenSea because they haven't produced anything. Is that on Gala to produce something to make those worth that? Yes and no. Because yes, they're on the hook to produce something. No, they're not on the hook to make sure it produces $70,000 worth. So there's where the big gap is with thinking and mentality now, because people are pissed. I mentioned this on the last two casts. I just picked up 2 new things for Miranda's. And I'm poor, right? I'm not a whale. I'm not even close to a whale. But these are 2 items that a year ago I would have never in my wildest dreams been able to afford. And I bought both of those pieces for less than $500 each.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on Gala that to earn 70,000, because everyone needs to be held personally accountable for their actions, correct?
Right.
However,
correct.
if you're falsely advertising and continue saying not an investment, it is logically fallible to say that people aren't coming in here for the ROI. And at least when all this was the bull market, you had Townstar, which was producing amazing ROI, but that dried up quickly because we all said over and over again, there was no utility, right? There was no reason for it to be as high as it was. So now you're stuck with all these things that people spent an exorbitantly large amount and unnecessarily large amount of money on, and also don't have anything to do with it because the games aren't out. And again, I mentioned this earlier. I think there's no issue with doing an initial funding FT. Hey, this is going to be overpowered. It's going to come out just this once. And then once the game's live, then there's going to be the normal NFT purchases, which is a boost here or a skin there or anything like that. I think that's reasonable. You can get that initial funding, but then also not keep leading people on and all these fucking fantasies and dreams and shit. Now, there's a lot of people that just buy them to flip them, right? And that's fair too. What Glitch mentioned earlier. I only found out about this recently. I don't know if you guys have seen on Caffeina. Shout out to Caffeina. I think she's in Faz Radio Discord right now. She has been sharing the videos from a person making videos saying that Bitbender speaks and Benefactor speaks and whatever. But he did one on Classy talking about how that loophole where you can't take your silk out because of honor, but you can go buy tank parts on OpenSea and then sell them half price, so they're more likely to sell, and then you get your money out that way. And so there's that loophole was created because people weren't able to extract their value. And at the end of the day, whether they call it play to earn or play and earn, you are still implying that they are going to be able to receive monetary compensation for their time, and they're not investments. So when you make it hard, or what's our favorite word? Where's it at? Where I got so many fucking tabs I lost.
Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
Fuscatory or Tory.
Whether you do it that way or what, it's still a problem, right? It's still a problem. And again, I've been very fortunate in my time with Gala that I have not spent any of my own cash other than maybe some gas fees, right? Everything that I've earned, I've given away. I still continue to do that because I care more about the community than I do myself. To my own detriment, maybe, perhaps. But I don't care. I'm here for the games, and I want to see the games thrive. At the end of the day, to act like Townstar is the best game in the entire world, it's not. The reason it got so popular was because of the town mechanism, the play to earn, play and earn, the FTs that were selling and earning ridiculous amounts of money. I get that. I'm saying that currently, today, there exists multiple examples of ways that Gala could make games, styles of games, types of games, and implement a system where they can still do their initial NFT draw, but then also implement the extremely successful and widely proven microtransaction setup, whether it's a battle pass or it's skins for your character, whatever it may be. They can implement that. They can get their money revenue in, and then we can also get games that are fun and worth playing. And until you can combine those two, Web3 doesn't need to exist because CSGO is doing it already. Fortnite's doing it already. Honkai Star Rail, all of these games are already doing the things. They don't need Web3. They don't need blockchain. People are spending money and they're making billions of dollars off of it without ownership. And I think at the end of the day, ownership doesn't matter if I can still sell what I got in game through an in-game marketplace or a third-party website. That's really the biggest issue I foresee blockchain game having, is that they have to prove that blockchain is more important than what already exists. And currently, it's not.
I think blockchain is very good for things like leaderboards and being able to track things and make sure that your stuff doesn't disappear. And let's say you get banned from playing on a platform for whatever reason, you can still turn around and sell your assets. This argument, though, and I've had this argument many times, that where people say, "Oh, well, it's decentralized, so if the company goes away, you know, people still can carry it on in perpetuity." No. Yeah. If a company disappears, that stuff is going to be worthless. Nobody's going to pull the strings up on a game and keep everything running and play the game. And it
puzzles.
I think it's.
Well, the communities, they're not going to stay. They're just going to move with the flow.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, that is a great point, Titan. What I'm saying is that's still not important. If that was important, these games wouldn't be making billions of dollars. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't be important or that it shouldn't be important, but my point is still that is irrelevant to the majority of these large player bases. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I totally understand what you're saying.
But I agree with you. I think that is important. Now, I don't know the full story, but we talked about, I don't know if you talked about what happened with on-chain gaming. Didn't he allege that he lost access to his stuff?
He did.
Okay. So if that's the case, then this isn't Web3.
Well, no, sort of. So this is where you run into the half-truth part, right?
Right.
So he didn't lose access to anything he had minted. That was in his wallet. He can do whatever he wants. What was left in the treasure chest that he lost, and part of that was the winnings from playing in the Miranda's play test, right? So he won a prize of X number of Materium that was deposited to the treasure chest, and they locked him out so he couldn't get those rewards out.
Gotcha. And he did that because he had loaned out some of his stuff to other people to play for.
I don't remember the exact accusation of what that was. Yeah. So
basically Town Star rental that we were promised back in December. Gotcha.
So here's the rub on that. So they're getting rid of the treasure chest. So people are saying, "Oh, well, that's not going to be a problem anymore."
It's on Galachain. That's not any better.
It's on Galachain, and Galachain's private and it's permissioned. And who has the keys to the permission there?
Benny and the Jets.
So is that really an upgrade for the player or no? I don't know. Or if they don't tell you you can't take it out, can they arbitrarily raise the fee to bridge it back out of Galachain to $500?
Let me ask you something. Do you think they needed that for V2 for that to happen?
They didn't need V2 for it, but the other part that was brought up, and boy, did I catch a lot of hell for this one, is I made a comment because I posted, and I think it was in one of the Gala channels, I had posted, somebody was asking about, well, why did this bridging fee go up to $20 to get stuff off of Galachain? And I posted that, Hyperledger doesn't have gas. It's meant to be gasless. So it's Gala's option on if they want to charge a gas fee, and if so, how much that gas fee is.
They overcharge everybody for ETH transactions. They've made millions of dollars off of ETH transactions.
I did a whole show on that. And
I'm not wrong, right?
So no, you're absolutely right. They work with batch transactions, which they get a discount on. And so the point of this is they said, well, we need Galachain, so we have, free transactions. There'll be pennies. Right, as long as you're playing inside the walled garden on Galachain and in their marketplace where they set the rules, and on their chain where they set the rules, you can, for a penny, you can exchange something. The minute you take it off to make it yours, the whole purpose of what they say is you get ownership. When you take it off of there, you get dinged with high penalties and high fees. So that rubbed me the wrong way too. It's like, look, if people want to take it, because we talked about this, and I can't remember which one of you said it, but I am a big proponent of this. If you want to tell me that it's not Gala's problem, that they need to provide something worth keeping your money and your assets and everything and your attention even on Gala Chain, you're full of shit. That is their responsibility. If you're taking your stuff and, taking your ball and going home, that's on Gala, because they're not providing enough entertainment, enough reason to keep it there.
Hey, you remember that time that they sold Fuzzles? I remember that time.
Fuzzles was crazy, man.
Well,
and
so you brought this up about people keeping things going after. Every time I post about Fuzzles, it's like, oh, you don't understand the community. We're going to keep it live and whatever. I said
somebody bought it, yeah.
Yeah, I said originally, I think it's a great idea. I think this is the wrong time, because this was in the middle of, we don't have any games. Gala Games has no games. Why are we promoting this? Gala Games still has a handful of games that have nobody playing them, and we're talking about social media now. It's the same problem again, and I'm not against helping people out with film, or helping people out with music. The musicians, I'm never going to listen to your music. By the way, no offense, I'm sure you're great, you're talented. Not my cup of tea. Until you get some double bass pedals and some blast beats, I'm not interested. But I hope that it helps their career.
There's a market for everything. There is
100%. The music they're choosing is much more common person friendly. But my point is, all of my music is on Spotify. All of my playlists are on Spotify. I hate Spotify, but I don't want to sit there and rebuild all of those multi-thousand song playlists on Apple Music or Amazon Music, which I get Amazon Music free through Prime. But I don't want to do it because it's inconvenient. And no one's going to download another app to play 3 songs that they're not going to listen to. They're going to have to switch to their other app to listen to the other songs they want to listen to. And I don't think Gala's ever going to be able to get all of the big name artists. But that's just me. I don't think people really care about owning. I don't think
it's attempting to, though. Like, from what I've seen, and like the marketing for Gala Music was more essentially getting over indie artists and all the rest of the stuff. And
what about
like,
Snoop?
giving them a platform. Yeah, but
that was their
Snoop's
big push, right? They were pushing Snoop. Hey, we got
Snoop
Big
was
Dog.
more of a marketing tactic, though.
So, but that's the point, is that that's